What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel, and boy, oh boy, am I amped to be making some more Mets content this time that isn't live stream related, because I've been having so much fun with the streams, but I have so many different topics I need to get out in a short period of time leading up to the season. So stay tuned. A lot of great content is pumping out, starting with this one, as we'll be talking about the player on the wall behind me, the new face of the New York Mets outside Jacob deGrom, that being Mr.Smile himself and Francisco Lindor. He had a phenomenal spring training game today at the time of recording against the Houston Astros, in which he had his first ever home run now in the New York Mets uniform, and you can catch that in a video I posted earlier today, description down below too, to get that information. But regardless, we're not going to be talking as much about the positives with the Lindor as we are the seriousness of the matter on what his fate is going to be with the Mets going forward, the current status with his contract negotiations, and so much more. So as always, guys, make sure you stay all the way until the end of the video. Find all the details and all my thoughts on Lindor, the current status there, if we should be happy, concerned, or feeling in between out what we could expect Lindor in a contract to look like, if at all, and so much more beyond that. And if you guys end up enjoying this kind of Mets content and want to see more great Mets content like this, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button, share this video with your friends, put on the notification bell, all those great things. We are the fastest and largest growing Mets channel here on YouTube, and I would love for you to be part of the family if you haven't already. So smash those buttons, guys. Thank you all so much in advance. Now let's get right into today's video. So as we all know by now, Francisco Lindor, the reason why he was dealt from Cleveland in the first place was because they were not able to extend him long term. They simply can't afford him. But now the Mets acquire him, and he is due for a big payday over a long period of time. At least $300 million between 8 to 10 years is my estimated guess, until we actually see something beyond that currently. But when asked in today's presser following the win 8-3 against the Astros in spring training, Lindor stated the following on the current status with the Mets and negotiations.
Yeah, they started, but nothing serious. You know, it's just we're just talking.
And this is something that we all expected, right? Because over the past week and a half, there were plenty of statements that came out that, yes, the Mets would at least be starting their negotiation process with Lindor. And we have to make it clear, everyone, just because you start negotiations does not mean you're going to have an extension or any type of contract in place right away. These things can take time. We're talking about not just a couple days, but a couple weeks, a couple months. It could go on forever, depending on the timetable that you're currently working with. And also with Lindor, it's even more interesting because he's not just any guy that you're trying to extend. The value is there. He's arguably the best shortstop in baseball, that he personally believes he is. If you're looking at his interview over the past couple days with Tom Verducci for the Sports Illustrated, he said it here himself.
Who's the best shortstop in the game today?
I think I'm the best shortstop in the game.
And for being arguably the best shortstop in all baseball currently and trying to get acclimated with a new club, this thing takes time. We all understand that. But the comments that you're going to see here in a second are really what has left people kind of scratching their head, a little bit nervous, and that's what I'm going to try to bring some clarity to, that being Lindor when he was asked if the possibility of doing an extension or dragging this out to the season is even possible.
I will not be negotiating during the season. I will go to free agency if something carries on during the season.
Now, this is something in particular that should not be coming as a surprise to anyone. Lindor has stated quite clearly since he was dealt with to the New York Mets that he was not interested in doing a deal during the season. He was open in saying that last year in the 2020 short season with Cleveland, he was out of shape. He did not give his utmost effort because, one, he knew that he was inevitably going to be dealt because of the whole contract negotiations to begin with. So Lindor is clear that, yes, he does separate negotiations and that the financial side of baseball and the little bit more personal side from the game, but it's easier said than done, and that's been evident, and you can tell that in the tone of his manner. Now he's been approaching these pressers as of late that, yeah, there's no beating around the bush. I would love to be with the New York Mets. I would love to get an extension done, but if it does not happen prior to the season, I am going to then hit free agency, and then we can talk about something around there while I have all the free ability to talk to any other team that I would like, which will make things awfully hard for the Mets to extend him long term, and it will cost them a lot more than likely should they not extend him prior to the season. And as he stated as well in this presser, it's clear that, yes, it's not fair to him, it's not fair to the club. If you have that uncertainty going into the season, not just with Lindor, think about Conforto as well, Syndergaard to an extent, it's going to leave a cloud over a team that has World Series aspirations this year, which is never a good thing. So the big question is, are the Mets in fact going to be able to land Lindor to a long-term extension prior to the season? I've been under the firm belief this entire time that they will get it done. that Lindor jersey on the wall behind me would not be there if I didn't feel otherwise. So, because as soon as that trade happened between Lindor and Carrasco going to the Mets and that absolute blockbuster, I still can't even wrap my head around it. It feels like it's truly another realm whenever I'm watching these spring training games and seeing actually Lindor at the plate, and now he just hit his first bomb with them. But I bought that jersey right away. I've been feeling confident. There's no way that the Mets would make this kind of trade, would give up significant assets, including a shortstop of the future that's looking like a young star in the making, possibly in Andres Jimenez, and some very decent prospects in Josh Wolf and Isaiah Green, respectively. And of course, Amador Rosario is being utilized in the outfield and all these other different positions for Cleveland. They wouldn't do that without the firm belief that they're going to lock Lindor up long term. He has been their poster boy since day one of being acquired. He has literally been everywhere known to man, and he has been all smiles. The Mets have been making it clear that yes, they want to really work the franchise around him. He doesn't just have the capabilities as a player. We all know what he brings to the table, both at the plate and in the infield with his fantastic glove. What he brings beyond that is truly something special with his personality, his leadership, his willingness to help out the communities around him, which has been evident this offseason, and so much more. It is truly jaw-dropping in my mind, and he's far above what I initially expected of what type of person, what type of player would he be with the Mets. The regular season hasn't even started, and I'm already just like, wow, this guy is really the next face of the franchise, and it has already begun. He's a leader in the locker room, outside the locker room, and everything in between. So you need to make sure you lock him up long term, and the Mets have all the capabilities to do this, okay? Let's make that clear with everyone here. Lindor, he's not going to be all that excited. I really don't believe that we're going to see that crazy amount of excitement in spring training constantly, because it's in his head. He knows this, and that's definitely has been a factor in my mind to an extent, with one, getting acclimated with getting used to being in Mets in Port St. Lucie now that he's with the club, with his slow start in spring training outside of today's game at the time of recording this. Hopefully things will only go up from here, but normally when a player like Lindor is slouching a little bit at the plate, maybe overall with his personality, if you're seeing these interviews, maybe he's looking a little dull or a little fed up. That's because, quite frankly, he is a guy that knows that he's worth the big bucks. He would like to have that commitment to be here long term. But here's the thing, as soon as he gets that extension, we can fully expect to see Lindor not just all smiles like we have, but truly beyond belief. We're going to see a confident Lindor beyond the confidence that we have seen. He doesn't want to have that dark cloud over his head. He knows it will in fact affect him should he not have one prior this season. He wants to get a deal done. There's no doubt in my mind, and the Mets want to get a deal done too. So Sandy Alderson, Zach Scott, I'm very confident in you both. I truly believe you're going to get a deal done, but one more time, make sure you get this done. If there's one player that you need to make sure that you do not let slip through your fingers, that you take the risk of going to free agency with, is none other than Francisco Lindor. There is no one better. This is the best opportunity, the best position for the Mets to be in, with a new ownership that's willing to handle the money, that's willing to go over the luxury tax threshold like no tomorrow. That was evident in free agency with the many guys that they targeted that they just fell short on, most notably being Trevor Bauer of over $40 million over a multi-year deal. You don't do that if you don't have the money to work with, and the Mets clearly have it. So Mets, you got to lock him up. You need to make sure you lock him up, but I perfectly understand his demeanor. You can tell he's even a little frustrated possibly, and maybe I'm reading a little bit too much into this, but I just have that belief that the Mets know very well that Lindor may very well not be here to stay should they not extend him prior to the season, and he's deserving of everything that could be given him. If he goes on the open market, he'll be making a good amount more, in my opinion, even with how flooded it's going to be with a lot of great infielders in this upcoming free agency, versus what he would be making an extension. There's going to be a difference there because you're not going to have that bidding war, but the Mets should avoid the bidding war. They need to extend him because we all have to remember, guys, Francisco Lindor is a franchise talent. This guy's 27 years of age. He is a phenomenal glove. He's a phenomenal switch hitting bat. He has speed to steal bags. He is everything that one could hope for and beyond. He's one of the best leaders in the game currently. He has one of the best personalities in the game, and I'm simply jaw-dropped every single time I get to hear more of the young man speak, because he's just, it's really all music to my ears. But now is crunch time. It is do or die for this Mets team. Get this extension done. You have just around 2 weeks or so until April 1st hits for the Mets' first actual game of the regular season. You need to get it done. Now is the time. So as always, Mets fans, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Share this video with your friends. Put on the notification bell. All those great things. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Francisco Lindor is deserving of an extension? Do you think he's deserving of it right now? And do you think it'll actually happen? Do you believe the Mets are going to get this extension in place prior to the season? Or do you think that they may very well actually toy with the possibility of going into the season? Again, I really feel strongly about the fact of them getting this extension done within the next 2 weeks, but I understand there's always going to be cause for concern until something is officially out there for us Mets fans. We naturally have that kind of PTSD, if you will. But let me know your thoughts down below as always, and thank you all so much for checking out this video. I hope you're looking forward to the great Mets content here going forward. Thank you again, guys, and let's go Mets.